What's up, Saints? My name is Alex.
And my name is John.
And you're watching SAHS TV.
Before we begin, let's start off with a prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Saint Anthony, pray for us. Father, Son.
Without further ado, let's get into our news stories. Starting off, let's talk about the mask mandate.
That's right, masks are coming off.
Many may see this as a good thing, while others may not. Let's check it out.
Good morning, Saints. I'm Daniel Franklin, and you're tuning into SAHS TV. On Saturday, March 12th, California lifted its K-12 mask mandate, giving every school the ability to decide how they'll take it into effect. Let's see how our Assistant Principal, Dr. Rivera, will handle this mask policy.
So the school's position has always been to follow local health department guidelines. So whatever kind of guidance or protocols we receive from Long Beach Health Department is what we follow. And then we also follow what the Archdiocese sends us. So it's a combination of both. So both Long Beach Health plus the Archdiocese.
Thank you, Dr. Rivera. Whether or not you wear a mask, it's not guaranteed that you'll get COVID. Here's Mr. Spicer on his take and think if the numbers will spike after the mask mandate policy was lifted.
I'm very concerned that we'll see a rise in COVID cases. The only thing that might prevent it is that currently the numbers are dropping everywhere, and so the spread might minimize. But then there's a chance of another variant, so I'm concerned.
Thank you for your intake, Mr. Spicer. Next, we'll be hearing from Mr. Guzman, SA's Statistics, Religion, and AP Environmental Science teacher, who will be telling us how he feels about the mandate and not having to hand out masks to students anymore.
It's going to be weird not being able to hand out masks anymore because this has gotten into a custom behavior of us passing out the mask. I mean, now that everything's getting lifted, it's going to be weird not having those in my classroom. But, I mean, we have to continue to move forward with what the health officials are saying. So, again, just giving out masks will be kind of weird and awkward not being able to do that anymore. But that's what it is.
That's all from our administration. Now let's see how SA students feel about the mask mandate. Here's our senior, Charlotte Marquez, telling us how she feels about having the option to take off her mask for almost 2 years.
I think it's good to be able to have that option. Personally, I'm gonna keep wearing my mask because it's been great not being sick the past 2 years for anything. So I'm gonna keep mine on.
Thank you, Charlotte. Next up, we have junior Sierra Anguiano, who will be telling us her initial reaction when she heard the mask will be optional at school.
My initial reaction was kind of excited. I haven't seen people's faces in a long time, and it feels like we're moving in the right direction towards ending the pandemic, hopefully, but also a little scared because you don't want cases to start spiking and the school to close down.
This year would have been the first year on campus for the class of 2024. Let's take a look at sophomore Chris Palma and see what he has to say whether or not he will be continue to wear his mask.
I will not continue to wear my mask because after 2 years of COVID, I just want to feel normal again.
Lastly, we have fairly new student on campus, freshman Isabella Cruz, opinion on if wearing a mask affects her high school experience.
I think wearing a mask does affect our high school experience because before COVID, we had a lot of freedom with our showing our face, and now we feel restricted because we have the chance of getting in trouble or catching COVID.
Thank you, Bella, and bye-bye mask. Stay safe, Saints.
It's good to know that the students are happy and the time of mass is coming to an end.
Speaking of the end of things, quarter 3 is also coming to an end.
You know what that means. The students better get them grades up. I know I'm gonna have to. Join me and my reporter team as we get more info on the topic. What's up, Saints? I'm Alex Cobbs, and you already know what time it is. It's the end of the quarter for St. Anthony High School. And it's going to go 2 ways. Your grades can go up, or they can go down. Let's see what the students have to think about that. How do you feel knowing report cards are going to be sent out soon?
It's a little bit stressful, trying to get everything turned in, but I feel pretty confident about what I've done so far.
is studying for midterms going to affect students like you?
Again, it's going to raise the levels of stress, but as long as they've, paid attention throughout the entire year, I think that every student should be able to understand the material and get it done.
You got to try to fail, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since the end of the quarter is on the 9th, how do you plan on making your grades the best that they can be?
Definitely turning in any late work I have and just studying my brains out for the midterms that I know I'm going to struggle on.
Thank you for your time, man.
John, how do you feel knowing report cards are going to be sent out soon?
I'm feeling fairly confident in my grades. I've been doing good in most of my classes, so I'm confident that I'm going to do good.
That's good. How is studying for midterms going to affect students such as yourself?
It's probably going to affect their grades depending on how much they study and how hard they study. I feel like studying is a good part, and studying for midterms it helps you a lot.
Got to study them, all right? Since the end of the quarter is on the 9th, how do you plan on making your grades the best that they can be?
I plan on turning in all my assignments, studying for midterms, as I said before, and just praying, I guess.
Can't go wrong with a little bit of prayer. Thank you for your time. Now that we heard from the students, let's go to Tyler with Mr. Guzman.
Thanks, Alex. Now that we got the students' point of view, let's try talking to the teacher's perspective on the end of the quarter.
I'm here with Mr. Guzman, and I'm going to ask him some questions about the end of the quarter. So does the workload increase as students?
The work does increase as people are submitting their late work. They don't do well in the midterm. It's kind of similar to a final. So if they don't do well in their midterm, then that means that their grade can significantly drop depending on the weight and the class that they're in.
All right, thank you. Mr. Here with Dr. Rivera, and I'm going to be asking him some questions about the end of the quarter. So does the workload increase as students submit late work?
Who do you mean for? Does it work increase for students, or does the work increase for teachers?
For teachers.
Yes, absolutely. So teachers plan for the year, for the semester. So if you turn in your work late, that just adds up to it delays their planning and grading. So that's why usually, for the most part, the majority of our teachers don't accept late work, but there are some that do. But it continues to pile up, so get your work in on time.
Cool. Will the students' grades drop drastically, or just a little bit if they don't do well on the midterm?
Traditionally, midterms are worth about 10-15% of a grade. So if they don't do well and they have like an A or a B, and let's say they flunk the midterm, it drops big time because that's 10% of the grade.
Thank you, Dr. DeVera.
You got it.
And now let's hope everybody is ready and has studied for the midterms. Good luck, Saints. This is Tyler signing off.
All this talk about studying and getting my grades up has got me a little tired.
Well, that's perfect, because the next topic we'll be discussing is the sleep schedules for the students here at St. Anthony's.
The sleep schedules for the students are all over the place.
Many are going to sleep at a good time, while others, they're not getting any sleep at all.
Let's see what the students have to say about the amount of sleep they get.
Good morning, Saints. I'm here on the campus at St. Anthony High School collecting interviews and data about student sleep schedules. We often see that student sleep schedules can affect how they perform in class and in school. This broadcast will highlight how much sleep students get and how it affects them in the classroom. Let's take it over to our first interviews with Melina on the scene.
How many hours of sleep do you get in a night, and is that a healthy number for you?
I get at least 5 to 6 hours of sleep at night, and I don't think it's too healthy because as students, we're supposed to get at least 8 hours of sleep.
Do you ever feel that the amount of sleep you get affects how you act in school and in class?
Yes, because since I don't get enough sleep when I'm in class, it's kind of hard to focus since I'm so tired.
Great answers, Melina. Thank you. Now we'll take it to our second student, Kylie Stockham.
Do you think that electronics are a distraction and can cause students to lose more sleep at night?
I do think they are a distraction as much as I hate to admit it, but I find myself getting in like little loopholes where it feels very hard to put my phone down, and it does cause me to lose some sleep.
Does the location of where you live and driving to school affect your sleep schedule?
It does affect my sleep schedule just because I do have to wake up early to get to school because I live a little further. Luckily I have a parking spot, but when I didn't, I would have to wake up at 5 a.m. and it was hard, especially when I was staying up late to do assignments.
Thank you, Kylie. Now we'll take it down to Mr. Guzman to hear his opinion.
As a teacher at this school, can you tell when a student doesn't get enough sleep compared to when they get enough sleep?
Okay, yes, that's a good question to ask. One of the things that I've noticed when people or students did not get enough sleep is that they don't come to class with energy. They're always, you see them very tired, you see them very calm and peaceful and serene. Well, when they do have energy or when they did get enough sleep, they come all rowdy. And so being able to see the difference in my classes, specifically statistics, sometimes being in an early morning class or at times being in the afternoon, I'm able to see when the student has had a good sleep or not have a good sleep.
Can it be a distraction when a student doesn't get enough sleep, so in turn they decide to sleep in class?
At times it does seem like a big distraction because I do tell my students to always keep being on task. And when you have those students that are not on task and they're just sleeping, it does come back to the teacher to be like, well, why are they doing that and I can't do that? And so I need to make sure that there's a balance between the people that are sleeping and not sleeping. But at times it is a distraction. At times I say that it's not a distraction because then it actually allows me to cover material. But guess what? After they wake up, they have a lovely note from me saying, see you after class. So yeah.
That will conclude all of our interviews. Thank you for watching. Make sure to get some sleep, Saints.
Man, I'm glad to know I'm not the only one who's not getting enough sleep. I'm tired right now.
Moving on to our final topic of the day is none other than Lent.
This time of the year is very important for many of us here at St. Anthony's.
Let's see what St. Anthony students and faculty are doing this year to celebrate Lent.
March 2nd marked the beginning of Lent, one of the many liturgical seasons in the Catholic Church. As a Catholic high school, St. Anthony's has had the unique challenge of trying to incorporate the season of Lent into students' everyday lives on campus.
It's sort of a time to humble ourselves and really focus on what Lent is about, what God, He sacrificed His Son for us.
Campus Ministry is St. Anthony's on-campus group dedicated to organizing and leading religious events at St. Anthony's. Campus Ministry is composed of multiple students and the head of the religion department, Mr. Chavez. But why is Lent such an important deal in the Catholic Church? Here to help is one of St. Anthony's religion teachers, a devout Catholic, Mr. Banfield.
Hi, thank you for joining me. Can you talk about what your position here at St. Anthony's is?
I am a teacher. I've been here for 17 years, and I did work in administration for several years, but the classroom is my first choice.
That's awesome. So what is Lent? Can you give us a general idea of it?
Lent is a period of contemplation. When I was a kid, it was giving up something. One year it was comic books, one year it was French fries or something. And as you get older, I always looked at Lent as a period of time to be of service, because after all, Jesus said He came not to be served, but to serve. And I think as we get more mature, it becomes a point in time where we can look around and see what we can do to help others.
So why is Lent 40 days?
40 days is part of the biblical liturgical period, meaning a long time. Basically, if we look at Christ wandered the desert for 40 days prior to His ministry. The Israelites wandered for 40 years. Biblically, the number 40 just signifies a long period.
And what is Ash Wednesday?
Ash Wednesday is the day we are reminded that we were created from dirt of the earth by God, and we will return to that upon our death. And it is a period of time where we are reminded to be humble and to abase ourselves before our God.
With Lent being one of the most significant periods in the liturgical calendar, there is so much pressure on the hard workers of campus ministry to deliver. Here to share their story is campus ministry member Mariana.
Has your regular religion teacher talked about what Lent is during class?
Yeah, Mr. Banfield, I think he went over it probably last week, and then we had like a little activity where we wrote, if we were giving up something for Lent, we wrote it like on a sticky note, and then we posted it like on a big cross we had in the classroom.
How do you feel about what campus ministry has planned so far for Lent?
I think it's pretty good. I think hopefully we can maybe do something to, like something for the whole school. Because on the senior retreat, we did have an Ash Wednesday Mass and stuff like that, but hopefully we can do something with everyone.
Do you think campus ministry could be doing more to promote Lent?
I think so, probably. I feel like it'd be a good idea, especially because you sort of only hear about it, like, if you don't really celebrate Lent, you just sort of hear about it like, on Ash Wednesday, and maybe throughout the Lent season, it'd be nice to have something to keep it as a constant reminder.
Thank you.
The 2020 Lent season started on March 2nd and will last until Easter Sunday, which is on April 17th this year. With 40 days to celebrate, St. Anthony's is gearing up to make those days very plentiful.
Well, that's all from us today here on SAHS TV.
Enjoy having no masks, get your grades together, get some sleep, have a great Lent, and have a great day. We out of here.